Today we'll be talking about when God allows something to happen. And by something, I mean a situation that is not very pleasurable or sweet. When God allows such things to happen to you, it can be for different reasons. Now, note, I said allow. He doesn't create those situations, but at times He allows it for our own good. In the book of James chapter 1, from verse 2 to 4, we see there that one of the reasons why God allows certain things to happen to us is to build our endurance. And at first, when I read this verse, I was like, why does God need to put us through trials to build endurance? Why can't He just give us the endurance? But then I realized something. Endurance is kind of like physical strength. It's kind of like developing a muscle. You don't develop muscle under easy conditions. If you lift no weight, your muscles stay the same. If you lift light weight, your muscles stay the same. When you lift heavy weight, your muscle grows. Usually, trials are like weights. We need them to grow and to develop our faith. We need trials to build endurance because endurance cannot grow in comfort, only in pressure. Just like muscles, your faith grows only when it is challenged. Developing endurance is kind of developing physical strength. If you're not physically fit, climbing up a staircase would be extremely strenuous for you. Meanwhile, if you're fit, you'd easily climb through it. The same thing happens spiritually. Without endurance, situations that shouldn't have as much of an impact on us would not only affect us greatly, but also affect our faith. This is the reason why God allows certain types of trials to come our way, to build our faith. When God allows these situations to happen to you, it is to build your endurance, it is to build your faith. So that when smaller situations come, instead of you losing hope, instead of you losing faith, you feel like the God who did it before can do it again. If you've been sick, let's say you've had asthma for 20 years, and God heals you of asthma, do you think if somebody tells you that God does not heal you, would believe it? No, because you've experienced it practically. So certain times God allows trials to build our faith, to help us overcome situations that the devil intended to for our harm. Sometimes God allows certain things to happen to us to use us as an example. Take the case of Abraham and Sarah, for example. It's not really that big of a deal for a woman in her 20s to give birth, but it's a very huge deal for a woman who is 90-year-old to give birth. It's strange. How can a 90-year-old woman give birth? So sometimes God allows certain things to happen as an example to the world, to show the world that, well, He's still alive, He's still powerful, He's still powerful, He knows what He's doing. So the reason why that thing you've been praying for might have not come, or the reason why you might have been through what you went through, was so that He can use you as a testimony, so that He can use you to tell people, to tell others going through the same thing, that He's still around, that He's still alive, and the day He will do it, you would see that it was worth it. In Job's case, his trial was more of a revelatory trial to prove the state of his heart. Remember how it all started? The devil was of the view that the only reason why Job was being faithful to God was because God was blessing him. And God was like, that is not the case. So the devil decided to afflict him with sickness, the death of his family, and all sorts of things, just to prove that Job does not really worship God for who he is, but for what he's getting out of his hand. And we can see, we all know how it ended. Job stayed true to God, even after his wife told him to curse God and died. He stayed true to God, and he ended up victorious. So sometimes the trials, the temptations, or the negative situations that come your way, it can be to build your endurance, to give you a strong faith. Some can be as an example, to use them as an example to others, that God still moves, God still does miracles. And then the third can be to show the state of your heart. Do you really believe He can do this? One. And two, are you fully worshiping God for what He will give to you or for who He is? It's important to note that in all of this, God never afflicted Job. He did not make Job sick. He did not make Job's family to die. It was the devil who did all of this. So let's be careful in our walk with God to avoid blaming Him or finding fault in Him for something He did not do. But even despite Job's afflictions, there was a limit. He said, you will not take his life, do anything, but do not touch his life. Don't forget, like he said in the part 1, it is possible that situation is happening to you because of your own mistakes, your own carelessness, or because the devil just stole something from you and it has nothing to do with God. God did not allow. See you next time. God bless you.